Very good afternoon, all of you. Today we have with us Dr. Debabrata, currently working as Group Vice President, HR and Admin of MSPL Group, a diversified business conglomerate, brings with him 26 years of professional experience in human resource management. Dr. Das successfully and efficiently served many major private and public sector companies like Built, Nalco, ITC, JSL, Tata Motors, Tata Steel, comprises of large people management systems. Dr. Das is an electrical engineer from CET Bhubaneswar, presently Odisha University of Technology and Research, with PGDM from IIMT Bhubaneswar and PhD from Utkal University. He has a rank holder throughout his academic career and is a certified competency mapper, NLP practitioner, life coach and career counselor, having a passion of mentoring students and budding managers. Many of his research articles are published in various research of repute. He has played an instrumental role in spearheading transformational HR initiatives and introducing business-centric HR policy formulation across various organizations. He is the recipient of Golden Peacock HR Excellence Award, HR Leadership for Change Management by World HRD Congress, and Mentor for Youth Award. As a part of his week and volunteering activity, as on date, he has delivered 70 numbers of campus talk on various contemporary themes and is in academic advisory board of various B schools. He is a life member of various professional bodies like HRD, NIPM, IST and advisor to L&D Global. With this, I invite Dr. Das to deliver a talk on strategic HR. Please.
Esteemed Director of the Institute, Dr. Patnaik, esteemed faculty members and my dear students. I think it is a great opportunity for me to address all of you today on a topic which is gaining momentum day by day, particularly in an era after digital transformation. As Dr. Patnaik has rightly introduced me, I am having a lot of experience across different sectors. But my feeling is that be it Corona, pre-Corona, post-Corona, be it a recession period, be it an inflation period, be it good sentiments, positive sentiments, negative sentiment, everything we need to drive as people managers. So the fundamental of the business, those are going to remain changed. But what is more interesting is that strategically how one can align himself or herself to drive the business. So gone are the days when the HR function used to be perceived as a transactional partner. This is now going to be more of a transformational. So human resource is going to be the business driver. So that doesn't mean that the person only working as a part of the HR needs to know HR. It is the entire fraternity of the business managers who need to know the fundamental of HR. Because HR has got three parts. One is the science of the HR, another is the craft of the HR, and third is the art of the HR. Science of the HR is also getting changed. We are now more into a decision-making models. We are using predictive analytics. We are evolving a lot of models for employee retention, for attrition analysis, for engagement. This is one part of the story. What is more important is the craft. How basically as HR professionals you are driving different processes in the organization, starting from your onboarding, induction, talent retention, employee engagement, performance and reward, whatever process you say, I think we need to craft it appropriately so that there has to be proper integration and alignment. Last but not the least is the art part, where every manager needs to play an important role. Art means here you need to coach our team members, you need to counsel our team member, you need to build a high performing team. So once these three parts are clear, then only one can really handle the role of HR. Whether as a strategic leadership position or as an individual contributor or as a people manager, these three aspects are equally important. So when we are talking of the human resource, they are going to the business driver. We are saying they are the central part of any organizations. There are three important dimensions which I am to first highlight. One is that, first thing is that we need to incorporate the business strategic priorities into people agenda. So first part is the business priorities, second is the people agenda, how these two are going to be aligned. Second is that we need to develop a right people strategy. This is what is the important function of every people manager or every business manager. They need to understand how can actually we develop a right people strategy. and last is the build value through people. So today we are talking of value, and value is a very simple thing I want to define through equation. This is benefit minus cost. So what benefits I am actually giving to the organization vis-a-vis cost. So top line and bottom line is equally important, and to achieve this I need to have a right alignment with my business strategy. So if you look to the business strategy first, then from business strategy you need to arrive what are the required capabilities. So when we are talking of capabilities, we are developing capabilities for the future to drive certain strategic agenda for the business. So from that we are going to evolve a human capital strategy, and from human capital strategy again the craft part will come. Here we will be talking of the championing different policies, different processes, different initiatives, and finally, as I have already said, it has to be aligned and it has to be integrated. These two words are very, very important. Alignment, suppose somebody at a board level, they are actually giving us some strategic priority for the business. As a HR person, how basically I am aligned to my business priorities. Second thing, I need to integrate my HR initiatives across the organizations. It cannot be confined to one particular area like operations or maintenance or quality. It has to cut across the organization so that the right integration will happen and there will be a impact, desired impact for the strategic agenda. Now, see, business managers' next role is that you can act as a game changers. So there are different game changing business models. I am going to give some examples. So before that, my first thing I want to touch upon is that what do you mean that when we say that somebody is a game changer in business? So there are three things, important things. One is that the game changers are not comfortable with, they are not comfortable with the routine work. They are very comfortable with breaking the norms. So their challenges the fundamental practices, the challenges the conventional wisdom. They brainstorm always, what best can be done. They believe in the principle of Kaizen, they believe in the principle of innovation, they believe in the principle of continuous improvement. So those people are really going to be the game changers, and I think you people who are going to the business managers, you will be the game changers. Second is that the game changers are not concerned whether people think their ideas are crazy idea. Sometimes they will criticize their idea. Sometimes they will say, what idea we are giving, it is not going to crack. So they may criticize your idea, but there are companies today who are actually starting up an initiative called Dare to Try. So somebody is giving some idea, trying their best, but finally they have failed. But companies are encouraging the people to actually give those ideas that may be crazy ideas. They might have failed. But this is one kind of culture today the companies are setting up, the innovation ecosystem. So companies are building up open innovation network today, right? It is not confined to one particular organization. They are tying up different bodies, including the educational institutes, incubators, those things are coming, where it is an open innovation network and they are experimenting with number of ideas. So the game changers are the ones who do whatever everyone else is unwilling to do. This is one of the DNA. Actually, this is as a business, managers, you need to inculcate the culture that something you want to do which a common man is unwilling to do. The common man is not able to take a challenge, but the game changers, they always take challenges. Let's take the example of some of the game changing business models. Like we are all aware of a company called Netflix. So Netflix is a subscription business. Okay, so instead of selling a product or services, so what they do, they go for a subscription. And from that model, how basically they get the customer insights, very interesting. So actually they go through all the details, how many users have streamed the movie or series, how many of them really gave up the part away or watched the full movie, and whether they want to watch more content starring the same actor. See, what level they are actually doing the analysis. From that, they get the analysis that yes, these are my subscriptions, these are the preferences, and again they can redefine the strategy to actually increase their business. Take another example of the platform business that is called Facebook. So what is happening in Facebook? So this model is closely linked to sharing economy, well-known examples of the platform business. Right? So what is happening here? They deliver value for the users by facilitating direct connection and exchange between people. In return, this platform gets incredible insights into its user communities. So today, Facebook is used for multiple purposes. Okay? Next example is Adidas is another company. This is a social and authentic business. See, typically what used to happen, any outsider, they always fear to reach to the CEO of the company. Right? They will say, see, we will go through the advertisement, but we don't have the authority to talk to the CEO. But today in social authentic business, the CEO is becoming the brand ambassador. You can ask the question to the CEO directly about their product, about their service. So this is another game-changing model where some of the authentic brands are adopting this. Another example is the employee-centric business, that is Google. So Google largely believes on the gig economy. I think gig concept is clearly evolving today, right? What is gig economy? I think here we are not talking about any permanent kind of opportunities. It is very, very flexible. Like suppose I am having 12 hours of duty schedule. So 3 hours I can work for one company, 4 hours with another company, next 4 hours with different company, with different services. So what is happening here? People are increasingly happy to come and go and to work for more than one company at a time. So this is another model. This is called employee-centric business, and Google has adopted that. Then another model is customer value-based business. Stitch Fix is another company. I am not sure whether you know about this company. What this company is doing? Brilliant business model. So what they do? They actually users detail and their size. They actually get the preferences filling a questionnaire. So they give a questionnaire. What is your preference about a dress? What is your size? What are the different colors combinations? They will pick up through a questionnaire. Then they use the artificial intelligence platform. So the system pre-selects the clothes that will fit and suit the customer. Hope I am making you clear. So once the preferences will come through a questionnaire, then AI platform will be helpful to actually generate the fit and the suit the customer for a particular dress. Then what will happen? The personal stylist chooses the best option from that pre-selected list. So they will give the list, you as a customer will pre-select, and then the personal stylist will choose the best option for you. So what is the benefit? No more shopping in the crowded shopping centers, queuing for changing rooms or ordering items only online for delivery. See, the smart model the companies are evolving. Okay. Now my only question is that for a game-changing business model, who is important? Whether customer is important, the CEO is important, CFO is important, COO is important, CHRO is important, or the employees are important. So it is people like you and me who are actually the business managers. They have given this game-changing idea. So my honest submission to all of you is that, we as a business managers, we need to be game changers. We need to think differently. Now I will just give you a little bit idea about the business landscape. So today, most of the progressive companies, they are going for organic growth. So therefore, their range of business opportunities evolving. They are managing scale and size. There is a customer-centric mindset. This is very important. Irrespective of the product or the services the companies is offering, I think this is one thing which is very important. Focus more on the quality and the innovation. But having said this, in the talent market, there is a war for talent. Every organization is trying to fetch the best talent from the available pool. And last but not least, is the corporate governance, where actually every corporate has to meet the higher compliance and governance standards. So when I talk about the business strategy, I want to give a very simple model. This is called a strategic diamond. So it comprises of 5 areas. One is the arena. Arena means where the business will be active and how much emphasis will be placed on each area. Second is differentiators. Which is going to be my differentiators? Is it my quality? Is it my price? Is it my service delivery, reliability, or it is speed to market? Third is the vehicles. How to enter the chosen arena. So if I am deciding for growth, so how actually I can ensure growth? Is it through organic growth? Is it through acquisition? Is it through merger? Or is it through joint ventures? So there are different strategic choices available for the organization. Next comes the staging and pacing. It is the sequence and the speed of the strategic moves. How can actually I fulfill my strategic agenda of my growth? But most important is the economic logic. How can I lower the cost through scales advantage, through scope advantage? So therefore, as a business management student, I think you are aware of the two concepts, that is called economy of scale and economy of scope. Whether I am going to offer a premium price for unmatchable service or product. So when actually I am going to discuss at a later point, I need to identify 3 generic strategies today the organizations are identifying and how the HR is being aligned so far as the recruitment is concerned, so far as the talent development is concerned, so far as the rewards are concerned. So to summarize, this is a strategy diamond. The strategy diamond comprises of 5 elements. One is the arena, where I will be active, where my business will be active. Differentiators, what is that differentiator I am going to offer to my customer? Is it my quality price? How I can reach? What is the route? Is it through my internal development, organic growth, acquisition, mergers or joint ventures? Sequence and speed of the strategic moves, and finally is the economic logic. So when the human capital strategy is evolved or is designed, at the bottom part, people to be the driver of the results. You cannot forget the people. People are going to be a central item of the HR capital strategy. Then you need to have a HR operating model. The HR operating model comprises of a center of excellence on different areas and business unit HRs. The COE and business unit HRs, the integration alignment have to be very, very strong. And then the HR priorities need to be decided in different areas like customer-centric HR organization, strategic workforce planning, culture building and seamless integration. Take for example, suppose the HR vision of an organization is to attract, nurture and retain talents. Here, the organizations need to focus on the employer branding, number one, the talent management with high engagement, third is the leadership developments, fourth is the learning and capability development, fourth is reinforce one team, one vision culture, simple and IT enabled HR processes. To give you some examples, today I am spearheading a group which is comprises of more than 10 businesses. So recently we have actually undertaken a journey of our group digital transformation. From SAP ECC we have actually transitioned to S4HANA. So on the process what we realized, actually a lot of complex issues being resolved. Lot of legacy issues have been resolved. And the TAT time has improved and it is giving better experience to our customers. So this is simple and IT enabled HR processes for seamless integrations which is adding value to our internal customers. But the bigger question is that you talk of any organizations, you can find three kind of strategic styles. One is the operational excellence, second is the product leadership, third is the customer intimacy. So what is customer intimacy? You talk of a function called business development, or you just consider a function called marketing sales, where your people will be closely interacting with the customers. They will represent your organizations to outside world. Second kind of strategic choice is the product leadership. They are the experts on the product. Okay, so they know in and out of a product. Last is the operational excellence. Here you need to build teams that deliver high value, low cost. So here actually you have to achieve the economy of scales. So you have to save cost through your mass production. Okay. So these are your three strategic choices. But if these are the three strategic choices, then the people requirement for these three strategic choices has to be very, very unique. So see, as a people manager, as a leader, you need to understand, because you need to join hands with HR even when you are selecting people. So people requirement, their attributes, their capability, their talent market, everything need to be understood very, very clearly. So if you look to the slides, here I have actually differentiated. Suppose I am giving an example of operational excellence. Here the people requirement is building teams that deliver high value, low cost processes and continuous improvement. What I have told, major emphasis on Kaizen, like innovation culture, idea generations, cost saving initiatives to improve my bottom line. What is the management style? Top down with charismatic leaders and managers. It has to be top down and you need to develop more leaders and managers. Talent supply network, you have to hire for tangible results and teamwork. So here the KR and KPI is going to be very, very clearly defined. Here we believe on a KRA KPI process that is largely based on SQ DCME framework, like safety, quality, delivery, cost, moral, environment, all the parameters will be there. So when we talk about the high performance of the people, where the strategic choice is operational excellence, it has measurable, tangible results, use incentives, rewards, what you can measure. Now you talk of a strategic choice of people leadership. Okay. So here you need to hire people who are really intelligent and who will be there with you for a long term. You cannot afford to lose these people because they are your product leaders. They know the product attributes. Okay. So they can arrive at a number of unique designs of the product, or they can design innovative products looking to the customer expectations. So here the potential more important than results. Here the human potential is very important than results, what used to be in the operational excellence. Now you compare the customer intimacy. Here you need to keep people satisfied so that they can satisfy my customers when they are meeting. It is a outside in and bottom up management with emphasis on shared value. Here, when you are hiring people, you have to hire for fit with values and ability to build a long-term engagement with the customers. Most important is that educate on value and service, because you are representing organizations, you are representing your entire inner network to outside world. So your value orientation is very important, your service orientation is very important, and when you talk about the performance, it varies based on the customer situation. So here actually if you want to judge the performance, you need to take the input from the customer the person is meeting. Hope I am making it clear. So there are different strategic styles. Based on the different strategic styles, there are people requirement are different, management style will be different, capability growth network framework will be different, talent supply, that market will be different, performance parameters are different. So today after business management, suppose you are dreaming of joining a company. So next, let's say 3 to 4 years, initially you can work as an individual contributor, then you can people manager, then you can be, after 10 to 15 years, you will be coming to leadership positions. It is absolutely important for you to understand your strategic choice of the organization. If this is a strategic choice, how can you build a team? How can you measure the performance of the people, and what management style you should adopt? Next important thing is efficiency and effectiveness metrics. Same 3 examples I want to give. Suppose operational excellence. Here we are hiring for tangible results and teamwork, I have said. So what can be the efficiency metrics? Suppose I want to track, so how many people have applied for particular positions? What is the effectiveness? That is more important. The percentage of positions filled, that can be one of the effectiveness metrics. Product innovation. So efficiency metrics may be skill assessment score. I can go for a skill mapping to find out what is the desired level, what is the actual level, and based on that I can find out the gap and I can give an assessment score. This may be efficiency metrics. What is the effectiveness metrics? How my new hire are performing. This is what I can give an example. Like the group where I am operating, before I joined, I did an interesting analysis. The early exit rate was very high. We used to lose around 20% of our people within 1 year of their joining. That was a big headache for us because pan-India people are coming and they are leaving within 1 year, and this early exit rate was 20%. Suppose 100 people used to hire in a particular year, 20 out of 100 used to leave. Then we realized what is happening wrong. Why people are leaving? Is it because of compensation? Is it because of the location? Is it because of any other reason? Or is it because of the role clarity? We identified one important thing and we worked on that, which is actually one of my research topic, that is employee connect. We said, or we found that for the initial 3 months, I think the employee connect was very weak. That was the research finding, and we actually did a lot of mentoring session and budding session for them. We started the initiative. Even for lateral hires, we did that budding initiative and it has improved. And today it has reduced drastically. The early exit rate has reduced drastically. So effectiveness is really new hire performance. Similarly for customer intimacy, if you are talking of the efficiency, it may be personality assessment score. Suppose you want to put somebody in a customer function, so you need to identify his or assess his personality score. But what is effectiveness? Effectiveness is your culture fit. Whether the person is actually fit to the culture. So you need to go for a culture fit index. Okay. But today what is more important, these are all traditional. What I am explaining till date is the effectiveness and efficiency. You people all know this. What is more important is the analytics. Analytics is going to govern the world. So therefore I strongly urge to all the students of business management actually to enhance your acumen in business analytics and also equally applicable for HR. So when I talk about the HR analytics, there are 4 types of analytics. One is a descriptive analytics, which we all are very clear. It is a reactive analysis. Like what happened? What happened? Suppose one training program is organized, how many persons have attended the program? How many training mandates? It is all reactive. How many people have joined? Your target was this, how many people have onboarded? How many people exited? Okay, how many top performers resigned? How many performers retained? So these are all descriptive analytics. It is very easy to capture. It is not very difficult. Next stage is diagnostic analytics. Why did that happen? Here actually you are going for RCA, root cause analysis. Why that has happened? So this is the next stage of analysis. Third is the predictive analysis. What will happen if 30% of your top performers leave the company? Do you have a strong leadership pipeline? So here actually you have to build scenario to predict. This is called predictive analysis. Last but not the least, again, the prescriptive analysis, that is what should we do? What are the top 3 action items the company should actually implement to retain the high performers? What are the top 3 qualities the organization should look for when hiring people from campus so that their retention will be more than 3 years? So this is what is the area today. Actually, this is an eye-opener for us. If you can use analytics, then you can arrive at a facts, figures, which will be helpful for a decision making. So the focus is a data-driven, agile and business-focused HR function. Okay, so data-driven, it is backed by the data analysis and numbers. Today we are talking about the big data, okay, volume of the data. So where we are actually using the analysis for a number of years. It has to be agile, ability to move quickly and easily, and it has to be business focused, that is focused on stakeholders and business context. But more important to actually emphasize what is the changing workforce dynamics. Common attributes vis-a-vis the emerging attributes, if you compare, as I have depicted in my slides. Previously we used to talk of permanent work assignment. 8 hours duty, 6 days a week, 48 hours. Okay, now that has got changed for some companies. 5 days work week, whatever it may be. 4 days work week, duty hour is this. But emerging attribute is, it is liquid and gig. That we have to emphasize. So, to all my students, I have a urge that also you need to think deep about it. You have to think very, very deep about it. I think in India, I think some people may be still uncomfortable to talk about the gig. But if you go to the abroad, you will find that is a DNA, part of their DNA. They are enjoying it. Okay? Previously we were talking of a stationary and stability. Today we are talking of transient and flexibility. Previously we were talking of, people are motivated by pay and benefits. But today people are motivated by employee value proposition. This is a very important word, employee value proposition. And that too will be very, very, different from different employee groups. Suppose I am a fresher coming from a college. My expectation from the employer will be different vis-a-vis a person who is continuing organizations for 15 years. So the organizations are again repositioning their value propositions. They are calling it as a segmented employee value propositions. Okay, adding different benefits, different flexibility options they are giving. We used to call attract, engage and retain. Now it is connect, engage and deliver. Connect, engage and deliver. There has to be uniform employee value proposition. As I have already said, today is the era of segmented employee value proposition unique to each person. Previously it was labor intensive, skill developed on the job. Today it is automation, smart learner centric development. So development has to be learner centric. That is the biggest challenge for the persons who are in the teaching profession. Biggest challenge, I will say. And toughest challenge. Because for us as a corporate managers, I feel we have an annual appraisal. We have a midterm appraisal or a quarter appraisal. For a teacher, every day is an appraisal. For a trainer, every day is an appraisal. And see the kind of expectations these young guys, they are having. Like you people are having. So that is the smart learner-centric development. That content, everything has to be very, very customized. Previously, we are talking of high pay and benefits. Today, we are talking of the total reward. We are talking of, everything inside that. The learning opportunity, the growth opportunity, the holiday program, the medical insurance program, everything in one basket. That is called total reward. If you look to the career, previously in most of the organizations like public sectors or even good private sectors, they have got a n number of hierarchies, like people joining as GT, MT, then becoming assistant manager, deputy manager, manager, AGM, DGM, GM, like this kind of hierarchy. So this is more of a linear path, and at a predefined interval, like after 3 years, after 4 years, whatever it may be, they have a defined system of the career progression. And if career path is linear, the major motivation that it will give you power and status. So as you go high, your benefits will increase. At a particular level, they get a car, isn't it? At a particular level, they will get certain benefits. A driver may be attached to them. Correct? This is one model. Second is the expert career. Here it is not motivated by promotion beyond a point. Suppose somebody is a very, very domain specialist. So at a particular level, that is the maximum level. He cannot go above that. Okay, that brings a saturation. That is called expert level. But the emerging career options are really interesting. So one is called spiral. This is motivated by learning. The graph will be like this. Like somebody doing a MBA course, immediately he will go and do certain certificate course in his area or her area of interest, analytics course, and then working for some time, again doing something to upskill him or himself or herself. This is called a spiral path. And you'll be very happy today. Most of the youngsters like you, they are preferring the spiral path to take up the challenging assignments. Another career path is transitory. People are taking breaks in between career. Previously, if you take a break or ask for a break, people used to look at you, seniors used to look at you. But today, people are actually taking a break for a purpose. Because they feel that they have a passion for something else. Right? So, from a linear and expert career, we are moving towards a spiral and transitory career. So, if we compare this traditional career vis-a-vis the career 4.0, so in traditional career, the goal was to get promotion, compensation hike, very traditional way. But in career 4.0, the only goal is psychological success. People need to be psychologically happy, right? Whatever they are doing, whether their purpose is going to be fulfilled or not, that is more important. Previously, the psychological contract was security for commitment. Now it is employability for flexibility. So they have a, if 8 hours, they say, for 3 hours, probably I am open for consulting. Rest 2 hours, probably I will be doing a teaching assignment. Rest 2 hours, probably I will be doing a training. So it is entire flexible. Previously, when we say about the mobility, it used to be vertical. People used to think of a promotion. How can I grow from one level to another? But today the mobility is more lateral. It's not vertical. Expertise was know-how. But today in career 4.0, the expertise is learn how. Okay? Previously, responsibility was entirely organizations. People used to look at organizations. What will be my growth? What will be my training program? How can I grow? What are my gaps? Today, the responsibility is employee himself and herself. Development, heavy reliance on the formal training, but today greater reliance on relationship and job experience. So this is what is the changes so far as the careers they are concerned. So there is a sea change today, in industry, after industry 4.0, a lot of career 4.0 options are also evolving. But what is more interesting is the employee engagement. I think you people have already heard this term employee engagement. I just spent 2 minutes to describe. You go to any organizations, you can find 3 categories of employees. One category of employee, they always ask a question to themselves, how can I learn more and how can I grow? So this category of people we call engaged employees. There is another category of people, they will always say, when is lunch? When can I go home? Let me complete my routine work. So what they will do, if the duty timing is 9 to 5, they will come at 9, okay? Let's the lunch break is 1, they will go for lunch at 1 to 2 lunch break, again they will start their work at 2 o'clock and exactly go home at 5. They are comfortable in doing their routine assignments, but they are called not engaged group. Third group is more dangerous, that is called disengaged. So what they will say, wherever they will go, they will say complete waste of time, why I am there? So they spread negativity, right? So Gallup has done a very interesting analysis where they are saying in world-class organizations, you will find 63% of the workforce are really engaged, 29% to 30% are not engaged, actively disengaged is 8%. But on average basis, 30% will be engaged, not engaged will be 50%, and actively disengaged will be around 20%. So this is a bigger challenge for a people managers actually. Because the highly disengaged population, they always try to pull the not engaged population to their side and also the actively engaged population to their side, so that there is negativity that spreads in the organizations. Even your best performers who are willing to give discretionary efforts beyond duty hours, sometimes they are demotivated. So it is very important as a people manager, as a leader, to actually understand this concept of employee engagement. So to summarize, if you cater to the business and to actually drive the business agenda, you need to have a COE, the Center of Excellence in different areas like talent management, who will work for member planning, talent acquisition, capability building and engagement, who are into training need identification, leadership development, managerial training, employee engagement and organizational development. HR operations and HRMS more into payroll, exit management, statutory compliance, grievance handling, employee relations, HR digitalization. PMS and rewards, the goal setting, performance review, compensation benefits, reward recognitions and market benchmarking. Let me give you one examples. Like today, how basically the talent segmentation is done through ACDC. There is a concept called Assessment and Development Center. So through business simulation, case study, role play, individual profiling and behavioral event interview, you can plot your talent into 9 boxes. So if you look to the slide, this is I am just giving an explanation. It is a potential vis-a-vis performance matrix where there are 9 boxes. So 9 boxes are shown in different colors. If it is a low performer and low potentials, it is a question mark. You need to observe them for some time and probably then you can dominate them as per the policy of the organizations. High performer and high potential are real stars. You need to retain them. And there are average performers where we are saying they need to be developed. They are having moderate level of performance and moderate level of potential. Okay. So this exercise is actually helpful to identify, to calibrate your talent and then do an individual talent plan or individual development plan in a matrix called 70-20-10. Like 70 will be on the job training, 20% will be through mentoring and coaching and 10% through the formal training. Okay, this is what the organizations are doing today through Assessment Development Center to find out what exactly is the potential of the particular person against some defined competencies. So which are the competencies framework? So I have given you some examples. Basically these are at 3 areas. One is the business related competencies, leadership of business. Another is the result related competencies and third is the people related competency. Like leadership of business, it is more about the vision and strategic orientation, global mindset, innovation led transformation. Leadership of results, customer focus, result orientation and execution excellence. Agility and adaptability. Leadership of people, it is teamwork, people development and delegation empowerment. This is just an example. This may change from organization to organization. Based on this competency framework, then there will be assessment development center where there will be expert assessors. It may be a combination of both in-house and external. They will design a number of simulation, case study, role play to calibrate the resources into different boxes as I have already explained. And finally, individual development plan will be arrived at. Similarly, if you look to the goal setting framework, this is very, very important and strategic for organizations. Here you need to give them some well-defined goals in 3 areas. One is the core business results, which is coming out from the cascaded business objective and strategy. The sustained measures, these are nothing but your daily management items. Last but not the least, again, individual project. Here you need to encourage people to take special initiatives, which are a part of the organizational requirement. But here I have an interesting observation. When we talk of any performance gaps, managers and leaders, they have a tendency to conclude that XYZ needed training. They always relate the performance gap to a training, which is not necessarily true. So here there is a model called Gilbert Behavioral Engineering model, where the manager or the leader has to analyze all the factors coming from the environment and also from the individual behavior. Which are the environmental factors? Like first is data or information, whether the person is actually getting the right information, the right data as he or she is requiring. Second thing, to introspect, whether the resource is having the adequate instruments, tools to handle work. Third is what exactly is the incentives to motivate that resource. This is coming from the environment. Then next part is the coming to the individuals, individual behavior. Has the person got the required skills and knowledge to perform the expected task? This is what we always do actually. Everybody looks to only this one. Whether the person is having knowledge, skill and attitude. KSA we always talk. But we miss the other parts. Second again, the capacity. Do they have the aptitude, physical ability, etc. to perform the expected task? And the motives. Are they willing to perform the task necessary for the available incentives? While we are all aware of the individual part, actually let's not ignore the environmental factors, which is very important. See, a brilliant guy, this is my example I am giving, one example I have encountered, a brilliant guy from IIT. We hired him and the person failed for the next 6 months, 8 months, he miserably failed. But when we deep dive to the issue, we find this is a factor related to the environment, not to the person. Because the person was not acceptable. The person was giving brilliant ideas. Because of any reason, his ideas were getting rejected. The person was not getting a platform. But after counseling with the immediate managers and with the respective persons, the brilliant engineer has performed superb. Okay, so this is an example where actually the individual managers or the leaders, they need to be sensitive to the environmental factors and as well as to the individual factors. Do not concentrate only on the individual factors. Let me again finally discuss about some of the generic strategy and its impact on HR. First is the cost leadership strategy. Let us look at the companies like Hindustan Lever, Amazon and McDonald's. Okay, so they are the cost leaders. Their cost cannot be matched by the competitor, right? Next strategy is differentiation. Here they actually produce some unique product or unique service which is unmatchable, just superb. Which are the companies? Take the example of Tesla, Apple and Starbucks. Third example is the strategy of focus. I can give you another example of a Diet Coke. Right? A Coke targeted for diabetic patient. So three generic strategy, right? Now you go to any organizations, you may find also there is a combination. You may find a combination between differentiation and cost. That is possible. You may also find a combination of focus and differentiation. That is also possible. But all your HR strategy will be changing based on your generic strategy. Okay? Let me give some examples. Suppose cost leadership strategy. Here what is really happening? Here the products and services are homogeneous. Customer preferences are meeting the basic and essential needs. Products are for the mass market. Low entry barrier and competitive advantage by cost. This is called cost leadership. Now you talk of HR sourcing strategy. So what will be the HR sourcing strategy if the organization is adopting cost leadership strategy? Here recruit manpower only at the entry level and junior level positions from external market, and employee value proposition is growth and development, social security benefits. You talk of any good manufacturing organizations, you talk of any PSU, good PSU in the country, they used to adopt the cost leadership strategy. So they used to recruit only people at a junior level, at a GT and MT, and they used to groom them. Even DET, Diploma Engineer Training, right? You talk of another now strategy that is called differentiation. Here the products and services are meeting non-essential requirements, special and generic products characteristics, specific customer groups. So what is the sourcing strategy here? The competitive advantage lies with specific skills of the people, resources with fairly high level qualifications and high learning capacity. So intellectual resource, that intellectual domain, that's very important if you are adopting the differentiation strategy. If you are talking of strategy of focus, here the products are designed and sold in very well-defined market. So what is the sourcing strategy here? Here the competitive advantage comes through manpower having specialized knowledge and skills about that particular market and its requirement. Okay, so we need to recruit a good number of senior managers from external market with market specific and product specific expertise. See how it is changing. So the message that I want to give is that, don't take the impression that today I am doing the finance means I am compatible only with the finance. I am HR specialist means I know about the HR. This is not going to be helpful for you as a student of the business management. You need to understand the strategic choices, the strategic priorities, the generic strategy of the organization, and then you are in a better position to align all your HR initiatives, processes and systems in a better way. Similar example, suppose I am deciding the compensation policy vis-a-vis the business policy. Let it be a strategy of cost leadership, where it is a large market for product, services, but there is no special feature. So what is my compensation policy here? I will hire low skilled employees, compensate them through job analysis with additional compensation. Maybe I can give some bonuses linked to the annual performance of the company. That's what most of the manufacturing companies in the mining, steel, all this domain, even power sectors, they are doing it. Strategy of differentiation. Here the product and services with unique capabilities. So here, how can I compensate them? The compensations are linked to unique skills and competencies. So probably I don't want to lose a specialist for this business, because they will actually give success when there will be a new launch of products. They are my brains. So I need to retain them. Probably I need to think of a concept called retention bonus for some kind of specialists for this kind of strategy of differentiation compensation. Third example is the strategy of focus. Here it is a business in a number of markets with distinct type of competition and risks. So here the employees taking risk and working for such new market development and expansion, they should be rewarded with additional compensation based on their success from entering a new market, because you are hiring people who knows about a particular project, a particular market, customer choices, preferences. So I need to give them some additional compensation for that. So see how it is actually linked to the business strategy. So if I summarize the emerging needs in the new normal, basically it is more about the business analytics to understand deep, like the strategy diamond I have described. You need to understand it is a very, very simple thing. Don't think that strategy means something very big. It is not like that. There are strategy diamond elements what I have described. Actually, it is very important as students of the business management to understand where do we operate, what is our arena, what is our vehicle, and how we are going to generate value, right? And what are our differentiation. We need to adopt flexible systems and processes, because that is very, very evident. From a traditional career, we are all moving to career 4.0, right? Where individual preferences, choices are different. From permanent mode, we are transitioning into gig or liquid mode. So we are more into flexible systems and processes. There are new business models through digitalization. This is one of the emerging trend. Like most of the companies that today are going for group digital transformation, GDT. So ideation, creative thinking, those competencies are going to be differentiated for you. Improving productivity and employee experience. The companies are very, very serious. So asset utilization, improvement of productivity and employee experience right from the day one of their joining. Actually, how is the experience of the employees and how effective it is. Developing new products and services. Progressive companies, they are into a journey now. So they are experimenting it. How can they develop new products and services? But what is most important is that rethink the ways of working. Actually, we need to challenge some of our practices. Once you are convinced that yes, there is a better way to handle the work, I think you can deliver a better solution. Thank you very much, and thank you for the wonderful opportunity given to me to present before you.
We have listened very good HR strategies from you. Usually what happens whenever we are getting this concept like gigs, spiral career, or liquid say work, say our these are all we are imagining, or we are thinking it is linking to the IT industry. You are working in a different sector altogether, mining and say steel and other sector. So how you are implementing this, because you are working in a process driven company, whether the really you are utilizing all this strategy in your workplace, please.
Thank you, Dr. Patnaik. That's a very, very good question. I must thank you. Yes, we are utilizing. My learning is that it is more than interest industry. I think it is more required for a role. It is role specific. So one example I want to give, like we have a team who are into investments. So they interact with the foreign clients. For them, we need to give them flexible work hours. There is no choice, right? Because your standard timing will be different. This is number one. Number two is that there are certain roles where we feel that their productivity may be better if we give them a work from home options. So we did a mapping of the different roles. Third important thing about the gig, I think, I must say there is a new labor code coming, and I must welcome our government. Government has kept this provision of also gig workers with different provisions of the benefits. So when you are doing a strategic workforce planning, let's say I am driving a project now, we are setting up some steel plant or pellet plant. We are more dependent on number of gig workers and also consultant. So whenever we are actually doing a manpower planning, apart from my permanent workforce, I am more dependent on the consultant and gig workers. So my answer is that it is not really industry specific. It is more about your business requirement, and it is more important for the role, where you need to evaluate which options will give you a better result for the business.
Very good answer. You have clarified the doubts, what was in our mind. Really, it applies to all industry. You mean to say it applies to all industry across say whole sector. And thank you, Dr. Das, for your illuminating talk on strategic HR across all industry. Will be say it will be we are benefited out of it, and our student will be benefited. And this talk will be uploaded to our IIMT open house, where not only our student will be benefited, but student across the whole country and outside will be benefited. I must tell you that we are bringing out a book on evolving career in management, and I invite you to contribute a chapter to that. Thank you.
Welcome,
Namaste.
sir.